LSS, PARAUNITY, and Road to Enlightenment, and a live chat on YouTube. And I'm Wendy, and I'm a medium, and I've been working in this field for over 30 years now. So I'm not going to go into how exactly long I've been working because I don't want to give away my age. But there we go. And we could introduce ourselves.
Kathleen, do you want to go first? Or?
Okay, I'm Kathleen Thomas. I'm co-manager of LSS USA and co-owner of Road to Enlightenment. Sorry.
That's all right. I'm Bob Sharp, paranormal investigator. Like to think he's a bit into the techie side of stuff. Learning the deeper sides of things. Been into it a lot of the paranormal and supernatural since I was younger. It's been really nice to get into it properly and delve into it in a more serious way with LSS, and hoping to learn and do a lot more. Hoping to get into it and this, that, and the other, and do a lot of stuff as we've got found slowly.
Well, I mean, a lot of us, we have been going out on investigations, guys, here in the UK and the US. And when are we doing this live, Kathleen, from Point Pleasant?
Oh, that will be weekend after this one.
Oh, very nice. Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah. I do a lot of watching stuff and a lot of reading. That's a very interesting place. That.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I just
you're lucky.
Really
lucky. Yeah. Wow. I know we've got places and this, that, and the other and stuff and that, but I suppose, I don't know about you, Wendy, sometimes I know I've got to speak from experience that I've never been, but I always hear people sort of about, East Drive, and I just go, East Drive, really? Scotland's full of castles. Most of them are sort of broken and got loads of history and stuff. Surely they're a lot more. Don't want to knock it, but you get what I mean, don't you? I suppose because we're used to the UK, we're used to the stuff we hear, and then when you hear like Kathleen say Point Pleasant, I'm thinking, I wonder how much it's going to cost me to get to America.
Yeah, we have a lot of places here that's going to be exciting to explore.
Yeah,
I'm beating you on that one. I've already looked up how much it is.
I can imagine.
But we have had some really good evidence on the last investigation we were on.
Yeah.
It was astounding, actually, some of it.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to get it up for others to see.
Yeah, I need to get round, for me personally, for the bits that I've got, I need to put on, like, say, with the cat ball and stuff. But like we was discussing before, I think learning, it's all right. I mean, like I've said, it's all right learning, like, I can't think of a better way of calling it, but like a scheme of work. But when stuff goes to the wall, most of that is out the window, isn't it? Because you're like, wow, and you just can't go, excuse me, can you just stop? You've got, like your spirit box. Can you just stop a minute, please? I need to just sort out my recording.
I don't think we even got a chance to get the equipment sorted out for it.
No, we got a basic setup. It's an interesting that like part of the topic, actually, to be honest with you, because you do, most people, the average Joe average public only really gets to see what goes on because they watch it on TV. So they're watching on TV, so they just see them go round. And they do what they do for hours on end, but it's edited down to a 40, 50 minute TV show. And sometimes, I know not always the people that do it, but sometimes the TV networks play around with how things go, to make it so that the exciting stuff happens towards the end because they're after this, that, and the other. And so you've got all that jumbling about and stuff. But when you do a bit of reading, a bit of digging, or watch some of that behind the scenes stuff, it's surprising how much goes into actually what they do and what they put into before they actually start doing it. And of course, we turn somewhere, get a bit of gear out, and boom, it's like a bomb off, literally.
And how did you find yours, Kathleen? Did you find that there was responses that you could hear?
They had a specific box that was really fascinating. It actually said Kathleen, but I'm not sure if it was referring to. I mean, Kathleen's a popular name. I mean, they could have been looking for someone, or they may have wanted to contact me. But either way, that's about it.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. I want one. Speaking of equipment, I want one. I have to have one.
Did you get any more? What other names did you? Can you, off the top of your head, what other names did you get?
Emma. There was a room that had a pentagram in it, and 2 names popped up. One stood out because we know a lot of Emmas, but the name Emma came out. There was a little boy's name that came out of the one of the boxes another person had. I think he was using. Oh God, it's the one you referred me to from the phone. It's an app.
Oh, it was it
the one.
Yeah, was it the one? Oh, was it the one that says the words? That is, it picks up words.
No. It just spoke, and now I did have one that picks up words, and that's the one where I got the Emma from.
Like a geopod.
The pentagram was.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many apps these days that you don't really need a full caseload anymore. But I think it's always nice to have everything at your disposal.
Yeah. It's all right having the phone and having the stuff on the phone, and these phones now are so much more powerful than the gadgets that they make. And they do have the limitations, and some of the gadgets are actually amazing. They're quite powerful and stuff, but
right.
You can't use your phone and record everything at the same time. So if that's what some people often use their phones, I mean, it's ridiculous. Now you've got cameras. I mean, the cameras on some of these phones, like the Google Pixel, it's unbelievable. Do you know what? I'll actually post it on our evidence thing. I've got it on, and there's a picture that my son took. He got older with the Google 7, and there's a picture he took, and it's an amazing clear picture. And then he goes, it looks nice, but then he says, watch this. And he shows you where he was stood and zoomed in. And it's like half a mile away. And you're like, with a clear picture like that, who needs a standalone camera? But then if you're going to use your phone's wraps, then you need a standalone camera. So you have to have some of these things anyway. And you can't, I've not seen anything yet as such replace like the REM pods. Because they're quite specific the way that they're built. So these REM pods are a good one.
And these newer spirit boxes, they are amazing. Let me tell you, I'm on the looking for one. They are clear. They take away all that static that you get from like the SB7. You can't really understand anything on those. That's what I tried to use, and I got a lot of statics, some words, but
I'll post the evidence that I got using the app that I've got that it's a spirit box, and it's amazing. In actual fact, I've got some other ones that wasn't from the investigation, Wendy, and I won't tell you what it says, but I'll let you see if you can spot. But it's very clear. It's very, very clever, especially with the way that it records as well, because it records but it records using what it inputs rather than outputs, so it dulls the actual radio wave sound that you get, and it concentrates more on what's coming in, which is the important bit, because that's the bit that
Right.
you want to be able to hear, so it's quite clear. But yeah, I'll post them. I need to put them on my computer and edit them, because we've got quite a lot of bits actually.
A Facebook user saying hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. I've got the comments at the side, but can't see it.
No, it's on the main one.
It's weird that is. I don't know if it's just this laptop. It only if I use the full screen, I don't see the messages. But whoever it is, good evening.
There we go.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been interesting. I would say that I've been on one other investigation where all the stuff was just going, all the equipment was going off all the time. You could hear running around you. It's definitely very interesting when you get back up to what you've just said, like we did at the other investigation.
Why I asked the question about like Kathleen and what other names it got, because if you don't get many names, but you get your name come out, that's quite a thing, because it's some of these apps sometimes can throw words at you and other things, and but when they're not the apps that produce the words, and obviously you're just listening to what produces the sound, like the spirit boxes, that's a different thing automatically altogether. So I wouldn't dismiss the fact that you got it and it said you heard it say Kathleen, because it still is something, especially if obviously people are saying your name and it's something's mimicked your name, if that makes sense. It's quite important. It's whatever. You shouldn't have got it in the first place, should you? You shouldn't have got that coming out of anything, because they're not supposed to work and bring out. If that makes sense. So, don't dismiss that. It's good.
So,
yeah.
So
I thought it was pretty cool, but after thinking about it, I wonder if it had to do with what I felt going into that place to begin with.
What did you feel?
Oh, just an accident that happened.
Yeah.
And later on the 4th floor got confirmation it actually really did happen.
Oh, right, yeah. Because I remember you saying about the little boy in the face and everything. And that's really, it's really good. It's eye-opening. It's something you learn to do, don't you? Opening yourself up and things. And I mean, I always find Wendy's quite lucky and Martin's quite lucky, because they just, I think personally, Bolingbroke Castle, I think when we walked in there, I don't think we had an attitude, but we had an attitude whereby, the last time we were there, something was quite offensive to one of our own, and so we weren't going to get our own back, but we were going to make sure something new, but it wasn't fair on us, and it obviously wasn't fair on any other spirits that was there that would be frightened off, because that's a go into at some point as well. Different, how spirits interact with each other, because. You know what I mean? So I think that's why we weren't intentionally, I've got to say this now for anybody listening or watching, we weren't intentionally, was we, Wendy, antagonising anybody? We didn't have a chance to do that. It was just, but then, do you think, Wendy, that, I don't want this to sound really horrible, but do you think that when we got there and when we arrived within the grounds, do you think that something picked up on you and thought, well, because we discussed about the witch thing and how it would be to somebody hundreds of years ago, do you think that that's what could have kicked it all off? That they picked up on you and thought, not having it?
I also think it was because I was a female and that I was Scottish.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have been that far. I wouldn't have been as far as Lincolnshire.
Yeah. Because you'd have been, if I'd got the dates right and stuff, I think you'd have been, Will could probably tell me, he seems to be brilliant in history. You could have, you'd have been a pig. I'm sure that's the right. We've talked about that before. You would have been Scottish. They call them the pigs, I think. Possibly, yeah.
We'll say impossibly.
Yeah. So you would have been, because did the Scottish used to call the English Sassenach or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. It jumbles up in my head a little bit because we had so many things, different parts of the history. Like when Will was asking the questions, and I'm like, oh God, yeah, those are those times. And I thought, wow, he's really up on his history a lot better than I am, and I'm all right with some stuff. So
that's years of watching Time Team.
Yeah, a bit of Take Cat beat a bit of Tony Robinson.
But I definitely think it's good not to antagonize the spirit because they aren't performing monkeys, you know. You can't pull them out and then put them away and pull them out again.
Yeah,
and
expect
it to be okay.
But do you see, like I was saying that, and like I was saying about us going there and stuff. So it's not, sometimes then it's not really fair because you're kind of, I'm not going to say you're antagonising them, but they're obviously going to take offence at you, and you can't help that.
Right.
And obviously there must be an aura that you give off, Wendy. And I mean,
imagine like a light bulb above your head.
Yeah.
And you're in a dark room.
Yeah.
And the moths all
collect
to that light.
Yeah.
That's how I was told and was described.
It's
Wendy, sorry.
I was just going to say, it was interesting you should say that, because that was why at one point I put the cat ball between you and Martin, because it felt like that coming in from directions, and I thought we might get a reaction from a cat ball as something. Does that make sense? That was why I did. It's brilliant. Do you know what I mean about what I said last week about the whole working together without being able to? I think it's great. I think we make a great team. It just came to me straight away. And sometimes you don't want to be trying to explain something in the heat of the moment, but that's. Yeah, no, I get that, and that was the reason why I did the cat ball, because I felt like everything was like a river, like a running river, but heading towards you. Yeah. Sorry, Kathleen.
Wendy, does it? Which do you prefer? Like when you get your own things, like your own intuitions, or actually the equipment itself? Do you feel there's a difference? Like sometimes you might get something personal evidence.
I was guided with intuition to where to put the equipment. I do like the equipment because it can back up what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like giving direct questions and you're getting your answers straight away. And it's
we've got
something that I'm already hearing, but the equipment's verifying.
Does it annoy you then, Wendy? You know, when you know this is happening, you know that you're being talked to in whatever way and stuff, and nothing's, the equipment's off and happening, and you're thinking to yourself, don't make me out to be a liar, because I've been doing this for too long, and I know exactly, because I've got to admit, I don't know if I've ever been, I think I've in private conversation, Wendy, I think I've said, going back years, I always struggled to understand how I'll go with medium with the one, because I know it's not good for mediums, they're all split into different areas and different, I'd call it genres. But I always just I just don't understand how it works and this, that, and the other, or why it would work and stuff. But then, having spent some time with Wendy, and it's like, yeah, well, it does. I know it does because I've seen it do. And I mean, I've had this, and I've had conversations with people, and they'll look at me and they'll go, "Don't give me that look. Do not give me that look, because I'll tell you now. I know what I know, and I know what I've seen. So, and I don't know another way around explaining it, and I wouldn't try, to be honest with you. So, yeah, while I might have been stood on the fence, my ball's in your court, Wendy.
Yeah. I like going to places that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I once went somewhere in Irvine. It was like a boat museum, and all the evidence.
Hello.
Hi.
Whoever that is.
All the evidence had been covered up.
Ah, right. Yeah.
And I walked round and I was saying everything that was happening. And because I got it nearly spot on, the guy accused me of cheating.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I have been in sight of everyone.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Somebody's thrown a phone number at us or something. They're not very good lottery ticket numbers, then.
No. Sorry, but we don't phone anybody. Okay, so
Another one, isn't it? Is that even? I'm not. That's the weirdest phone number I've seen, to be honest with you. But it's a very long. Oops. Oh.
oh dear.
Did anybody else get that as well?
Yeah.
That's very odd.
I've had to remove.
That's really odd. That.
We've never had that before.
No.
No.
That is very.
I don't know if I did it right. I'm not having someone putting a name up because I know what's coming next.
Yeah,
It'll be
because whoever's there who's putting your welcome and stuff, obviously, if it's the same person hasn't put a name, it's really nice when they put the names, obviously. And I mean, or at least some reference we could have for a name. Because I hate talking to or answering Facebook user. It's a bit useless.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard.
Yeah.
Because we're just trying to explain things. I'm not savvy with the computer, so it might have to be you, Bob, next time. And then you can put evidence up here.
Yeah.
But,
That would be great.
Be a great thing to do because obviously, given some of the things we do and some of the bits we've talked about and stuff and pictures we've got. I mean, the Seer app that I've been using, I'm ever so intrigued by it. I think it's amazing. I've been looking at other people's evidence on the website that people have got and recordings where people are recording with a camera and they're asking questions and they've got like these pictures coming up and you're like, wow, that really is quite close to what they're talking about. I mean, I know it's not perfect, but it's not a perfect science. It's you know, if it weren't for us and people like us, we'd be nowhere. And I don't know if anybody else knows who James Randi is. I love the guy to bits. He was amazing, but he did go a little bit too far sometimes in the 70s and the 80s where he tried to debunk absolutely everything. He was really famous as and he had mediums and all sorts on him because they couldn't perform like performing monkeys. He would no, it's like rubbish and that's it and stuff. And nobody ever managed to fit his criteria and win. I think it was like £100,000, which was a lot of money in those days. But when you read about him and you read some of his stuff and that, it's quite a scientific guy. And the problem is he always came across quite harsh. But then when you read the stuff about him and what he believed and stuff, it wasn't because he was a disbeliever. He wanted the proof. He wanted something that he could say, Israel, look at this, Israel. I mean, I'm going back a long time. The gentleman's been dead a long time now. But what makes me laugh is I wonder if anybody's tried to get in contact with him. Just that would be quite funny, to be fair.
yeah.
But yeah, you get what I mean. Because some people come across as quite, it's the cynic, isn't it, and not the skeptic. You can give somebody the best evidence ever, and they'll find a way around it. So it's always going to be the case. But I think it's getting more and more that it's accepted with all these gadgets and stuff we've got and this, that, and the other, and the people we know, and Also, see, there seems to be, I don't know if you've come across this at all, but I don't know, there seem to be a lot more people who are starting to question the things around them. You know, just what people just call themselves ordinary people. I don't know another way of describing it. I don't know how you feel about that.
I would say that since the lockdown, a lot of people have had to stay home.
Do you think they're not a lot? But yeah, I think I did read about.
So when they've had to stay home, things that are maybe happening during the day when they're out or in the evening when they're out, they're seeing these things and they're having to ask themselves these questions. You know, what's happening here? Is this, am I haunted?
Yeah. Why did I never notice this before and stuff? Because, of course, a lot of people go out, come home from work, making tea, and
you're knackered.
Yeah.
All you want to do is sit down and put your feet up.
Yeah, that's it. Good stuff. Well, you must be the same yourself, though. Some days you come home and you want to put your feet up, and there's things don't, like, I suppose, let you go, whatever, or you have to sort of. I don't know if do you ever find that I'm not talking about sort of like the bringing things home as such, just the sort of the things that maybe play on your mind or the,
Oh,
things,
definitely. A lot of things have been playing on my mind recently, and I think you just find yourself getting on with it, really.
Yeah. I never look around the world around me, and it's quite a difficult place for everybody and stuff. So it's the negativity, and the negative. I've got to admit, the negativity does worry me because it worries me. I don't know about you, but it worries me a lot about what will feed off all the negative energy.
And that is.
Yeah, and I believe in
that is a thing to worry about.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hello.
No, that's me. Sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of the.
Oh, is it you doing that? I did wonder if it was just a program that was just changing things every so often.
No, it's me. I'm sorry. It's me that.
Maybe the only way you learn your way around stuff, so. Yeah.
But yeah, it's is there any point that you were scared? Kathleen?
I'm going to say me. I don't know.
You mean on my first investigation last weekend? Oh,
yeah.
Yes, there was definitely a room. I could swear I heard a chair moving. So I went in. I thought one of the other investigators were in there. Turned out there was no one in the room.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I must have just, somebody must have been moving something elsewhere.
Yeah.
Just let it go. And then another girl came in. I was taking some pictures and looking around, and I started to walk out the room. She had already left. I heard the chair move again.
Ah.
So I just started snapping. I got like 35 pictures of this room, to be exact. I had to count them because, I was asked, did you do multiple pictures? Oh, yes, 35 of them. And never caught anything, but there was definitely something there. Before leaving the room, it didn't feel negative, but before I left that room and taking all those pictures, I could tell I may have irritated whatever was there and just didn't want to show itself. Because before I left the room, it was very negative. I thought everybody was leaving. I heard them walking down the stairs. My husband and another person was standing on the other side of the door. I walked out. I was looking at my camera to make sure, and they stepped out from the side and I let out a big scream. It was actually quite funny. I don't scare easily. And I felt so much negative energy. I actually had a fear. and that's saying something.
I'll be honest that it was a kind of ripple effect. I don't normally jump at things other than Will when he like jumps out at me.
I thought you was going to
But
say. I thought you was going to mention the bottle.
yeah,
Yeah,
I am.
I thought so.
See, they didn't even jump out; they just moved from beside the wall.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
oh my, I could have peed myself almost.
So
yeah.
somebody, in Wendy's reference, somebody needs to let go of somebody else's arm and let them let go of them, so they don't
It
pull
was like a
everybody out.
Mexican wave.
Yeah, it was really. Yeah, I literally tried to turn around really quickly, and to see what was what, even though it was past dusk, and obviously I just didn't even let go, and it was such a quick thing. And it's really weird because listening back to it, it's a straight, it's a dead, and then boom, it happens. And, you try and half jumping and half trying to catch this because I realised straight away to concentrate on where it was, but it didn't help because I hadn't let go. And I think it was Rachel once it hadn't let go of you. So,
Yeah, Rachel didn't let go of me. You didn't let go of Rachel.
yeah. Somebody didn't like us doing what's it called, the human pendulum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think somebody liked the human pendulum, to be honest with you. So, like I say, another bit I'll have to edit it and post it because there's a lot in there that doesn't really. Because obviously I've got it through sound. That one I've recorded because we don't have camera roll in there, but I've got the sound, and obviously my recorder's not the best, but you do get that whole things are going on and boom happens. But yeah, I'll edit it and stuff so you get that bit and some other bits. So, but yeah, it was quite a moment, and it's definitely you'll be able to hear. It's definitely not a Coke, and if you want, I'll get a bottle of equal sized liquid and kick it over or knock it over for you, and you'll be able to tell it's not the same. I mean, I know where the Coke went. I mean, if it was really, 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 really going to be pedantic by this, so and somebody questioned it, I can reference earlier video where where the cat ball is, where my recorder is, where the bottle of Coke is, and you can see it doesn't move. And then you could do literally the same thing, knock it over. And I tried it. And I went with a bottle of water, the same size, plastic bottle, but I had 2 litre bottle. But I know pushing it over did not make the same noise. It had to be dropped, as if it was lifted and dropped. So, and I mean, if somebody questioned it and goes, "Oh no, I'll go to those lengths because I know my belief is it wasn't just falling over." But yeah, I'll get the evidence and put it on there and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to get somewhere that can be very active straight away. But it's also quite nice to build up to that event.
Yeah, it is. It was. We seem to have. I don't know what it is, but those like that we did, and then sort of last year with Kermington and stuff. It all seems to be very just. We seem to have either been really lucky with it all, or we do. Whether it's you, Martin, Will, and that. I mean, in those cases, because only including those because we was at Kermington, it was only us. If it's that playing off each other, or that power, that energy, and that excitement, whatever and stuff. I find it quite exciting. I don't. I was trying to think about what question you asked about getting scared, but I don't. Which might not always be the best thing in the world. But the thing is, I was born and brought up in the middle of nowhere, and I'm not scared of the dark. And
neither am I.
Stuff that
neither am I. I'm not. I'm rarely afraid of anything.
Yeah, I've stood in the garden, my old garden, at 2 o'clock in the morning and heard noises and thought, well, I'm pretty sure coming through the edge is a fox. But it was a badger, and seeing lights in the sky and God knows what and other things. And had a really, really close encounter with my now wife a lot of years ago. And you think to yourself, when something starts to happen, people go, "Does it scare you?" And no, not really. No, not if you know. So I recently found out some information about something that I've been looking into, which kind of surprised me. It didn't surprise me about a place and the link. It's funny how you find out, because that's a problem. When you investigate a place and I mean, it's all right collecting evidence, but at some point you've got to realistically go, right, I need to research this to see what I'm getting. And then when you get some connections, and I'm not going to say anything, because if it's stuff that we get to do, Wendy, with me, you, Martin, and whoever, I don't want to give it anything away. It's like you say, you want to be blind, go into it blind.
Right, that's me. I like to go into it blind and not know.
I'm kind of the same, but I get to a point where I need to know something, because a lot of it doesn't make sense. And, more private stuff, because obviously at this, I don't know, I'm sort of, I wouldn't say learning the ropes, I'm learning to understand how stuff connects without saying too much. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? How we connect. I've seen it sometimes on TV shows, where you get these people do places, they go to another place and they get a spirit who calls them by name and shouldn't know them. But that's a whole different kettle of fish, that. They all, like, what I'm trying to say, Wendy, is like, in your case, like, are you a bit of a celebrity? Have you ever come across that, where you've been somewhere and you come across another spirit, or you think, hang on a minute, this is a spirit or whatever? I'm sure this is from somewhere else. I've met this spirit before.
Yeah, I have had that.
Yeah.
His name is Henry.
And
I met him on a church farm in Skegness.
Ah, yeah.
And then he helped when I was in trouble with something. He helped. He was like a helper, an inspirer in my team. And it was quite nice to have that familiarity.
Yeah, I know. I asked the question more than anything. Sometimes, I think I've said it to you before about being at home and that feeling whereby I would, if I went on my intuition and the occasional thing, excuse me, you'll know, I'm willing to bet you both had this, and anybody else watching had it as well. That thing where you get caught by your eye corner, stuff, and you think, and
wait a minute, yeah,
and then it happens a few times and stuff. And I know I've had things like, I'm pretty sure my old pet dog Susie is around sometimes, because I get that. I've had more than one occasion where I know I felt her, and I actually thought it was Gary, our cat. You've met Gary; he's quite big, but he's not there. He's out, and I know what I felt, and I thought that it's Susie. I know she's around. It's just a friendly little. But most people just cast it off, don't they? But when you start to learn to, just not instantly go, "Oh my God, I've just seen something."
Well, see, when you get that kind of intuition, get your gadgets out.
Yeah. The thing is, though, when it comes to, like, with Susie, I don't feel like I need to, because I just feel like it's a friendly, "Hello, Dad, I'm here." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll always, you have to excuse me, it upsets me because I'm missing the bits. But, that I'm around. Don't worry, I'm always here for you, even though I've been gone. It's been gone a long time. So
I know, but they stay with us.
Yeah. So sometimes that's, to be honest with you, I was going to be really bluntly honest, excuse me, it does upset me talking about it. I maybe don't want to know because I don't need the with that. I don't think I need the validation because I think I know, and it's it's comforting. It's not the same as the other things that we do. It's I don't know. Has either of you got anything like that it's a bit personal? So if you don't want to say, I mean,
I've got we've got a cat called Sam that comes round. And
nice.
he'll go round the living room because he used to like to do that before he went to bed. And then he went upstairs and Emma felt him get onto the bed.
Oh, wow.
And it's just that comfort knowing.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, I don't think I need. I don't want or need the validation. I just know. And somebody's probably going to say, "Oh, it's probably just your imagination," but never mind. I'll let them. I know what I know. Given how many times it happens. Sorry, Kathleen.
I said that's usually the way it works.
Yeah.
Your imagination.
I kind of go, never mind nowadays. If you don't want to, if you don't want to, my, I'll call live manager. She's a bit sort of. Well, it's just, and I'm like, well, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I know that's not true. Right. And I'm not getting into an argument with you about it. But
right.
But it's just pointless because neither way, I love, I don't know about you, but I love these people that go, but you've got no proof. And I think to myself, that's not true though, is it? There's loads of proof. There's loads of little bits that are proof. And they would be like, but it's not real proof. And you're like, ain't it? I think it is. But what I think you're doing is you're trying to deny the fact that it is. Just because it's not something that just appears right in front of you and goes, hi, I'm a ghost. I'm a...
Right.
It don't work like that. The universe definitely does not work like that. But so... Yeah, I'm quite sure where I'm going with that one. yeah, it's a case of it's. I think I put this somewhere not long ago. Cynics and skeptics. Skeptics will always ask the questions with the to the mind of looking for the truth, regardless of whether the truth is because it's something paranormal or whether it turns out to be something just ordinary terrestrial and stuff. Whereas a cynic, it won't matter. It just would not matter.
Yeah,
it will
definitely.
Not. And that's it. And I feel sorry for anybody that's like that, to be honest with you, cynical rather than skeptical.
And sadly, these types that are really closed off miss out on a lot of the stuff that's around them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do feel a bit sorry for them because
sometimes I wish I could close off.
Oh, so do I. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But especially when I was younger.
Yeah,
if I had been able
when he was younger.
I wished I hadn't seen the things that I saw.
Yeah. Wow. That's quite powerful. That I can imagine being quite young and being quite scared of the things that you see. And I mean, for the rest of us, when you say that, all I can think of is the little boy in the Sixth Sense and everything.
I see dead people.
That's my favorite line.
I'm going to say, I won't spoil it just in case I actually was on about this not long ago. Somebody in the room, not here, went, I've never watched that. Thanks for spoiling the ending. How have you not watched The Sixth Sense? Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like Signs, with Mel Gibson. How can you not watch Signs? It's a very, very clever and unusual take on UFO invasion, alien invasions. I love it to bits. But yeah, that whole being young and wow, I cannot imagine. I feel for you, but I can't imagine how scary that must have been, especially not understanding.
Well, I'll give you I was up in my room, door closed, and the room's dark, obviously,
Yeah.
and you just hear your name being Wendy, Wendy,
Wow.
coming from inside the room.
Yeah.
And you've got to put the light on, but that means getting out of your bed.
Yeah.
So me being me, stuck my head under the covers and the pillow.
Yeah.
Not that that would have made any difference, but I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah. But
I
yeah,
felt safe.
that's the ostrich effect. Is it ostriches that bury the head in the sand?
Yeah.
I can't see you, so you can't see me, and you can't get me.
And it was little weird things happened after that. And because my mum and dad gave it like a normal explanation,
Yeah.
and you're little, you tend to take what your mum and dad are telling you as the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, sitting watching this thing coming down the stairs towards me, just this black
Yeah. And then nobody else
energy
can
getting
see
darker and darker coming down the stairs. Well, I nearly died. And I got in trouble because my mum was on the phone and I was screaming, look at that, look at that.
Yeah. Do you? Did you? I can't remember because I know I don't want to go. You know, I don't want to talk about anything that would upset anybody. But do you ever think that like with your mum and dad or anybody else, you think they could to a degree see something but ignored it because they didn't want to know? Do you ever, or have you ever had any?
Yeah, my mum.
Yeah.
Because when my grandfather died, we were both sitting on the couch the night of his death.
Yeah.
We smelled the brand of coffee and cigarettes around us.
Wow.
And we didn't know what it was at the time. And it wasn't until the next day we were told he'd passed away.
Yeah.
He was my age.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's something not to go. That does. I don't know about you. I don't know if that worries you or not. Slight sideline on that, but my mum passed away when she was 59. She was ill a lot. I mean, so much more ill than I am with things. But I have to admit, it does worry me. Being 56, 57 this year in July, that reaching that age, it plays on your mind and stuff. Because I think sometimes, like with Susie, I do sometimes think when it gets to me a little bit because I feel a bit on my chest a lot worse, or other things are not so good, like my leg and it's dodgy, whatever's going on with it, and that. And sometimes you think, and I'll sit there and think, and you get that feeling. It's really hard to explain. I think, hang on a minute, there's something something's trying to tell me stop panicking. Quite a calm feeling, and it comes from. But I suppose some people would probably say that's just yourself trying to calm yourself down, or trying to make you think more positive. But I don't always believe that. Going back to the whole trusting your instincts and things like that.
Yeah. I think you've got to come to terms with the fact that we are going to go on to a new chapter eventually.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be, you're going to be with the people that you care about eventually again.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
We go back to energy, but we can still have the conversations.
Yeah. Which would be nice. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I think I have when we were doing one of the lives or maybe just privately conversations. One of a chap that the music side of the stuff that I'm into, I was always massive since I was a kid into Tangerine Dream, and Edgar Froese, I can never pronounce his last name probably, it's German. Froese that started it all in the end of the 60s. When he passed away, he left. He must have known at some point, he was going to pass away. He was ill and stuff. And he left like a little message to sort of his fans and I suppose his family. And he said, don't think of me dying, just think of me moving on to another cosmic address. I absolutely love that. I think, for somebody to say that, to understand or believe, enough to believe that, I think is a wonderful way of describing it. And it's not the first time I've said it to somebody who suffering bereavement and stuff, and just said and told somebody that as briefly as it can without going into too much. And I think it's amazing that. I think it's a wonderful way to think. And I've got to be honest with you, I think I would believe it as well. So,
I do believe it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kathleen?
Yeah.
It's an odd one because I know we all have a different way of talking, weren't we, about religion last week? That was Martin's fault. That he started that one off. But
yeah. Religion last week, death this week.
Yeah.
Wow, we're really like getting to the death of it all now.
Yeah. Well, death's part of the death's part of the business because without it, there's not a lot we're doing. We're not going to get very far, are we? So,
no,
I don't believe death is the end.
No, absolutely.
And what he said is quite right, and that is a positive way of looking at it.
Yeah,
I just can't believe you did Tangerine Dreams.
Sorry, say again, Wendy. Sorry.
I just can't believe you did Tangerine Dreams.
Yeah, well, I love the name. It was an amazing name. Absolutely. I'm off. Do you know, weirdly enough, they're still going. They've always been going for years, even in a different format and stuff. I've just, me and my son and that's just bought tickets to go and see them in Manchester in November. They still going strong. Different.
Do you know them, Kathleen? Have you heard of Tangerine Dreams?
No.
Yeah, look them up. Depending what era you look at, I was introduced to them in the 70s during what I like to call their pop era, because they're American. They were German, and then most of the time, I think there was a lot of American musicians with them.
Risky business.
Stuff, but yeah, a lot of the 70s stuff, such as Rubicon and that. He's very famous for, to sit and of a crappy factory.
Let's not go into that on
it's the thing. Hey, if it's good enough for the Beatles to experiment with all that when writing stuff like I Am the Walrus and stuff, then it's all right for everybody else. I'd love to know if that's, weirdly enough, I'd love to know if that's true.
I don't know.
No, it's always been a rumour.
But yeah, so we've all gone silent. We finally managed to kill the conversation.
You just actually reminded me of something. To be fair, reminded me, and I was going to say, because we were getting close to an hour, I didn't know whether to bring it up or not. It was just something, maybe food for thought. I don't know if this is a thing that happens that Kathleen's heard of. I'm pretty sure you will have, Wendy. I've been watching a few people. There's one or two of them I won't watch. They seem quite disrespectful, but there's a couple of guys and a lady. They go around a lot of graveyards and stuff, looking for very famous graves and stuff. And it's quite interesting. But having said that, also, if you were, I'm not sure how I feel about that. If I watch somebody, if I was family member of, I'm trying to think one.
I think you have to be very careful with that. And if there's any family left, I would say get permission off them.
Right.
Because I'd be personally worried after watching one or two of them, they're dead interested. And then I thought to myself, oh, hang on a minute now. If somebody identifies where this is, And what's the next thing? And you're getting people going in there, apart from just people taking photographs, you know, people going in there doing investigations and stuff. And then it's quite a, I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest with you.
I've been to cemeteries, but I don't take in equipment. Actually, I've taken flowers with me, and it was more of a visiting kind of thing and respectful.
Yeah.
Although weekend after next, I do plan on going to a cemetery in Point Pleasant. It's just beside the bridge that collapsed during the whole thing with Mothman.
I was going to say the very famous Mothman. Yeah.
And normally,
was that close though?
Normally, I don't get drawn to cemeteries, but for some reason, it's like every time I go back there or drive through that town, it's like something's just pulling me there. Like I really need to go there. I don't know what that means or why.
There may be a reason, yeah.
But I'm going.
We're going to find out why Kathleen's been drawn there.
And you know, I don't get that a whole lot. I don't get called to cemeteries like that. But I feel called to it. So I need to see what that's about.
That's going to be so good. I can't wait.
I thought about it before a couple of times when I've seen people or watched people investigate places like graveyards, and I often think to myself, if I was not just, you remember the Facebook thing that Martin put, and I put just my personal opinion was ghosts and spirit. Ghosts are those recordings that are left behind that 1 in 1,000 people sees, and it plays back to them, and you know they see the white lady or whatever walk across the corridor, and then nobody else sees it then because it's just a recording that somebody's very in tune with or picks up on. But then you get your spirits, and the spirits are the ones that are intelligent and that try to communicate with us or communicate with us because we try to communicate with them and stuff. And I just keep thinking to myself, if I, as a spirit, I'm not sure I'd want to be. If I had the universe to be able to, the last place I'd want to be is in a graveyard. So, but not going into it right now. For another time. I have a different opinion. I have some odd opinions about how stuff works. And it's not for a now. It's far too. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I've got the entire universe. I'll just stay put. No.
Anytime I've been to a cemetery, it's never to get evidence.
Yeah.
I feel the need sometimes. Like if I've been there, I went once with a friend to see his family's grave.
Yeah.
And I was drawn to this other area. And it seems like sometimes they still want to communicate. Like they want to talk. They want their family to visit or someone to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel that attraction like that. I don't go in and just be like trying to intrude on their peaceful resting place. I don't contact anything that doesn't contact me.
Yeah. You see, I go to my mum and dad's buried together down a few miles down the road at Barton upon Humber. And I go there and I go put flowers on there every so often and stuff with my missus and that. And I stand there and occasionally Barbara will say to me, "Are you all right?" And I'll go, "Yeah, I'm fine." And she'll go, "Are you all right?" Not to, you know, like Mother's Day and all that birthdays and stuff. "Are you all right? You're not upset?" And I'll go, "No, because they're not here. The body's here, but they're not here." And I don't feel like they're there. And I don't know about you. So it's quite interesting, you know, different of opinion or different feelings, how you describe. And then I just don't feel them there.
Well, sometimes not everyone will be there. I mean, some can go, but maybe some are maybe fairly new. Some don't feel they have anybody to go to, or
that's quite
I don't know what the situation is.
But just gone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, just not.
And I get that. I mean, like with Timmy's family, I didn't get absolutely anything. Like no feeling of presence or anything right there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right, guys. Well, sadly, we've just got time for a few announcements. Saturday is Binbrook, and it's 11 till 4. We've got people doing car boot. We've got craft fairs. We've got quite a lot going on there. But on the Friday night, I'm going to be doing my development classes. So everybody is welcome, and I'll put up a time and the place later on.
okay.
Now, is there a charge for that? For the development class?
£5 per person. And I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that's joined in. Sorry about the little blip earlier on.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
And it's good night from me.
Yeah, good night for me.
Good night.
Oops.